Hello everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Thursday and the market has been really flat today, and it looks like, the spider was trying to get up there to that 430 level, but it failed. It's currently at 420. Maybe, I don't know, the bull rally may be petering out. We don't know. But here's a live chart of the S&P 500 ETF called the Spider. The symbol, of course, is SPY. Still well below the 200-day moving average, but it definitely has some upward momentum, and that is good. It's been, as you know, we've been basically in a decline in the market since November of 2021, but we have had some of these uptrends, and we're currently in one of now. We are blue bar, so that means that's a good sign, meaning that we are moving up. But it just is a, generally speaking, very, very weak rally. I just wanted to show you the close on the Spider. The Spider closed at 420, and for everybody on TikTok, let's kind of switch on over there to see, so you can definitely see the screen. Hopefully this will work out here. Flipping the camera. There we go. Oh, well, there we go. All right. Flip that camera. Let's see if it didn't want to work there. Let's see if it'll do it this time. Okay, well, I know what I need to do, and that I'm not doing it, and that, of course, is I need to take that background off. So let's see if we can do that. More difficult than you always think. So let's see if I can take that off. One sec. And live intro. Uh-oh. Okay, well, let's try that again. And now, we want to go back live here. There we go. Okay, we should be live now once again. On TikTok, we were live on YouTube, but not on TikTok. So thank you for bearing with me. Let's see if we can take a look at that chart here really quick. This should give us the ability to flip the camera. There we go. All right, so let's look at that. Hopefully that will show. Oh, boy, not looking okay. Well, let's try to get it as close as we can here. There we go. All right. So now we're showing a little bit more of the chart. This is the this is a spider. As you can see, it's came up almost to the 420 level. I mean, it's at the 420 level, almost to the 430 level, but it's backing off a little bit. So kind of a not the greatest thing here. Let's see if we can show the weekly chart on this to kind of give you more of a good idea. As you can see, this is what I was talking about here. This is the weekly chart, and this was basically November 2021. You can see we've come down. We've been rallying essentially since June. We've been rallying up to that 200-day line. That's this fuchsia line here. We've been rallying up to that. But, again, this is a bear rally, and I expect that we will move lower. Probably we will move up, I suspect, to about 430, but then I think we probably will rally down. So I've been trimming some of my positions today, and I did sell. I did take some profits on LNG, and I want to show you the stock of the day that I have today, and that is New Fortress Energy. It's set up very, very nicely. Let's see if I can put that up there in NF. I think it's NF. Yeah, NFE. All right. So everybody on TikTok can see it. There we go. Let's see. I'm going to try to see if that will show it better. Yeah. Okay, this definitely was a blue dot today, which does indicate more than an average amount of uptrend. We did just come through earnings on New Fortress. The sales were up 161% year over year. Month over month, I'm sorry. And the cash flow has moved up very nicely. And currently, the PE ratio is 57. Now, here's the thing about New Fortress. It's out of New York, and it basically is a fund that is in the natural gas space, which has been doing very well as of late, obviously, because of the situation in Europe with the lack of natural gas. So definitely something that you might want to put on your watch list. It is potentially a little bit extended over the buy point, but one of the things about this stock that I think that is important to note here, it's got a relative strength of 99, and that puts it in the top 1% of all of the stocks out there. So New Fortress Energy, NFE, currently after hours of 58.40 is a share, down about 1 cent. Not a lot, but definitely down a little bit there as well. But definitely want to take a look at that one. Also, I just want to kind of compare some energy stocks together. You won't be able to see this, of course, on TikTok. Let me see if I can flip the camera once again. There we go. All right. There we go. I'm trying to get my new space here as well. But on this comparison, I'm comparing basically three different shares. I'm comparing, of course, ExxonMobil with the XLE and PPC, which is RRC, which is Range Resources. As you can see, Range Resources definitely has the upper hand when it comes to the average earnings. It's up significantly. I have been building a position in RRC, and I did move into it a little bit more today, just kind of showing you where I'm at. These are currently the stocks that I hold in order, and the first one, of course, is ExxonMobil. It's up about 1.9% today, or about 1.75 cents. Pretty good. I mean, $1.75. Cheniere Energy, of course. I did take some profits in Cheniere today. It was up $2.76, and the price up $4.16. And I also Petrobras, which is the Brazilian company, is down a little bit today. Tesla, the one that we're basically working on the split on, it was down today. My average cost currently in Tesla, and I have one full position in Tesla, is $8.81. So we're down a little bit off of that. Currently, Tesla is selling for $8.59. Ollie's Bargain Outlet, that was up today again, very nicely, about 2% at 65.08. Celsius, this is the new energy drink company that I think you might be interested in. Celsius, that was up today as well, almost a 0.5%. 0.49. And then, of course, we started a position in Range Resources. That was up 3.91% today. So looking pretty good on that as well. All right, before we get into the questions, let's take a look at the small portfolio. As you can see, I'm trying to ease into this. I still have about a 45% cash position here. So that is significant. I did increase my position in PBR, which of course is Petrobras. That's the Brazilian oil company. I also have a position in the small portfolio in Exxon, of course, and also in Ollie's Bargain Outlet and Celsius Holdings. And Celsius, of course, is the new drink company. Symbol on that one is CELH. And it has been doing some tremendous business. Now, the reason for the increase in Celsius is because they have a distribution deal. They just inked it with PepsiCo. So very significant there in terms of that. All right, well, let's get into some of the questions. Let me switch back so that everybody here on TikTok can take a look at the show, and hopefully we'll get this camera working better than when we had it there before. All right, so let's take a look at Celsius. This is let's see if we can pull this off here. There we go. All right, so hopefully this is going to give us a little bit better look-see at Celsius. If I get this in the holder properly, which is not acting the best, but there we go. All right, so maybe I have to just hold it. I just have to hold it here, I think, for it to work. Okay, so let's get into the questions, and the first one is from Alpha. Hi, Jim. Do you think the SPY will move up tomorrow? Good question. Let's pull over to SPY and see if that will be indeed the question. It's hard to predict, obviously day to day. It's kind of like predicting the weather. But we still are in an upward trend on the spider. We were kind of flat today, to be honest. But we are currently at about 420. I'm expecting it to get a little bit of headwind right about 430, 432. That's my guess. But I do think that we're going to have a little bit of an uptrend. We're still in an uptrend on the spider. It moved up, but it pulled back. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart on the spider to see kind of what happened. We started out the day up, and then we pulled back. So I do think we're going to get some support right at about 420, and then hopefully, possibly back up to about 430. But I do expect we're going to see we're going to see a little bit of resistance at about 430, because that typically is where where we're getting that kind of resistance. All right, Matt, thank you for phoning it in here. MERC. Let's take a look at that and see what's going on there with MERC. And this is Mercer International, and they manufacture basically bleached softwood. Not an area that I'm particularly acquainted with. I'll be honest with you there. But it does look like we came up to that pivot, the pivot being at 1647. We were rejected, unfortunately, and it moved back lower. But after hours, it's at 1665. This paper and paper products area of the market seems to be moving up a little bit, but still, this is extremely defensive area. I'm not so sure I would be jumping in this area, Matt. I just think that it typically is, I mean, even though it does have a 95 relative strength, I just think this is a very defensive area. We do have, on the technicals, there is a there is a buy point, and we're basically right at the buy point right now. It's a double bottom pattern, which it's an interesting pattern, and particularly powerful pattern. But again, this is a very choppy chart, and the pivot is at 1647, which is it went all the way up to 647, then it pulled back, and then it looks like it's moving in. So it's trying to get momentum. Now, interesting thing about this today, the action on Mercer today, was that they had very, very strong accumulation. So somebody is accumulating this this issue. We have the little Easter egg there. That means that indeed there was strong accumulation on this issue. So we shall see what happens here with that going forward. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. This is from Brenton 42, Brenton 42, and let's take a look at Tesla. Of course, we're going to have the date of record on Tesla coming up here, and that is going to be on the that is coming up on the 17th of the month. Again, I have been trying to build a position in Tesla for this. My strategy on Tesla, at least for this run, is going to be basically pretty straightforward. Build a position, and then hopefully once the position is built, then sell it out on the day of record. The day of record is the either the day of record or possibly the day that it splits 3 for 1. Now remember, it did split last year, and that amount was that amount was a 5 to 1 split. Basically happening at the same time of the year. It's pulled back a little bit, but after hours it's moving up again. So kind of volatile stock here, but it is moving. It looks like it's regathering strength, and hopefully it's going to move up. There is some resistance right about 900, so I don't expect this to move much higher than 900. As you can see, that's the resistance right there, and basically the resistance is about 900. I don't plan on holding this issue for very, very long. I suspect it will be held pretty short term through the 24th. It's going to be trading as a split share on the 25th. So that's kind of the time frame that I'm looking at for that. Let's see if I can get a little bit better for everybody here. Get a little bit better situation on this. Wow, this is just not cooperating for me very much. All right, so what we may have to do, goodness, I'm afraid this is not cooperating on the TikTok feed. So let's just go back to my ugly head here. So let's do that. Flip the camera, and we'll get back here. There we go. Yeah. So I guess that's probably going to have to suffice for now, because I'm having just some complete issues with this stand. There we go. Okay, so we'll just do it like that. By the way, if you want to see the charts super duper easy, all you'd have to do is jump on over to www.dallastradingfloor/ YouTube/ Dallas Trading Floor. So sorry about that. Hopefully, one of these days we're going to get a direct feed off of YouTube directly into TikTok. But until then, hey, I guess we can't do that. All right, Mr. Jeet is looking at STEM, so let's take a look at that one. STEM, and all right, STEM provides service revenue management software for E&T enterprises in the healing healthcare. So it's kind of a tech firm, but for medical. That's good. It's been a good area. It's pretty low. Computer software enterprise just is not performing very, very well right now. That group is 155 out of 197. So even though it has moved above the 50-day line, I just can't see buying it here. It looks like there's some resistance at 15. I don't believe this is a leader in this group. Let's see if we can find as we can see if it is a leader. Yeah, it just isn't a leader. So here's what I would do in this one. I would be probably super careful here, and I would basically just watch this one right now. I don't think, I just don't think it warrants. I just don't think it warrants that much, because it is not a leader. So it's just one of those. It's one of those things. You just can't do it. All right. Do you trade options? Absolutely, I do. But not. I am basically only have 2 option contracts right now. Mostly, I'm in stock because the market is moving sideways. All right. Let's look at HBM. Let's get a look there. HBM, and this one is. And this one is Hud Bay Minerals. It's basically a miner, a Canadian miner, it looks like. Copper, zinc, silver, gold, kind of the whole thing. Sort of a penny stock, $4.50 is the share price on it. And it has been moving down. It's trading well below the 200-day line. Not a real fan of this one. I think the one you probably want to look at is Albemarle ALB. This one is the world's largest producer of lithium, and that one definitely is moving up towards a buy to a buy range. It closed at 266 a share. The buy point 273, and that's kind of where you want to look at buying it. So I would not recommend the HUD Bay. Just does not really stack up when it comes to that. It does not look very, very strong. So I would recommend possibly looking at buying fewer shares of a company like Albemarle, because Albemarle does have it absolutely does have the revenue. So definitely something you should look at. All right. Notorious is saying, is Tesla still a buy before the split? Well, it should be, but this market has been very weak. So I would here's my strategy. Here's the strategy that I'm using on Tesla, and basically the strategy is to buy the shares, accumulate the shares before the date of record. The date of record being August 17th. The day that it will trade as split shares will be the 24th. So I'm looking possibly to buy it up until the 17th and then probably sell it on the day of the 24th, depending on how it trades. So that's kind of my look on that. All right, Mr. Optimistic is coming in with Petrobras. Now, Petrobras did pull back a little bit today, but I still really like the stock in the long term, and it did pull back a little bit here, but it's still in the buy range, and it's right about $15 a share. I definitely think it's going to take a little bit of time for this one to digest, but this stock, Petrobras, is up about 30% in a month, so that's something and it's a relatively cheap stock too, because it's PBR is up 30% basically in 1 month. Now, the question is, will this continue? Who knows? But I definitely think the world is looking for what PBR has, and of course that's oil and gas. This is actually one of the largest producers in the world. It's an excellent producer, but it just has not. But because it's in Brazilian reals, it's relatively cheap per share. But I do think that we're going to see this move up more. If I was in this, I would hold this. Also, I've been adding to my position here. We're still at 98 relative strength. That means that it's in the top 2% currently of all the stocks out there. So let's see if the checklist still is holding up here. This thing I always like to check to see kind of how it's looking and see if that's working. So with the checklist, we still have an 89 checklist, 89%. The only thing it's falling down on, of course, is the EPS. But here's one of the things that you got to understand about Petrobras. The profits were up 111% quarter over quarter. So that's very, very significant, especially in this market where they're not making a whole lot of headway. Another thing I want to kind of point out here, it's very interesting. The PE ratio on this is 2. I don't think I've ever seen a PE ratio this low, meaning that the cash flow on this one is incredible. The return on equity 31%, and it's a potentially very, very strong stock. Now, of course, it's an oil and gas company, but they do have gas, and that's when big demand in the world. So Petrobras, I would stay in this one. We've had a lot of people coming into this. Let's take a look at the number of funds. We have 473 funds in it. That's up from last quarter, which is 468. So this sort of is getting discovered and moving very well. So I would stay in this. If you're in it, you can still buy at this level. And so, yeah, pretty good. All right, we have a question from Notorious on NIO, which, of course, is the Chinese EV maker. And let's see about NIO. Let's see kind of what's happening here. NIO has been making a move, but I still wouldn't. I'm a little bit leery on this one. We're still trading well below that 200-day moving average. There is a buy point on here at 24.43. We're currently at 20, so we are making some headway in this consolidation base here, but I don't think this is a buy yet, and I really don't think this is a buy, even though they have been doing fairly well. The checklist on this one is not so good. Let's compare NEO against Tesla, because I think that kind of would give us a very kind of a good idea of what's going on here. So let's compare those. TSLA, of course, is the symbol for Tesla, and there we go. Let me go ahead and change that over. There we go. All right. Well, if we started with $100 back a year ago, we would have only 40 cents. And actually, NEO has outperformed Tesla over this last year. That's amazing. Tesla, of course, is many times bigger. So you could say, well, it has outperformed. You would have only lost 50 cents over the last year if you had invested in NEO, and you would have lost 55 cents if you invested in Tesla. Now the question is, with this split, I mean, what's going to happen here? We don't know, but typically splits move the price up. So typically they move this price up. So we'll see. Again, I have a full position, but remember, I'm just in it for the split. If we go through the split and it doesn't eventuate, then I will be out of the stock. So kind of that's the look on it. So I'll get back to you when I know more. Let's look at COCO's. COCO. I don't know this company. Manufactures coconut oil and energy drinks. I like energy drinks there. Of course, I want to show you. Right after this, I want to show you Celsius. It seems to be up into the buy zone. This is interesting. It's called the Vita Coco Company. Interestingly enough, they say that in every upturn, there is always a drink company that seems to make the move, and that happened again with Monster Beverage last time. Maybe it's going to be Celsius this time. Maybe it's going to be COCO. Who knows? Let's check to see if, let's compare COCO. I definitely like that idea of COCO against Celsius and against Monster. So CELH, of course, is Celsius. And I have a position in Celsius, just FYI. Yeah, Celsius seems to be doing a little bit better. So instead of, possibly... instead of possibly doing a COCO, you might want to look at Celsius, even though it's a more expensive stock, because if you took $100 here, you would have, if you invested in COCO, you would have had 95 cents, but if you invested in Celsius, you would have had $1.30. So this is up significantly. But the interesting thing about it, and I just want to show you this, is if we draw the line at 100, this would be even money right here. You'll notice that basically in the last month, since the middle of July, which is basically right here, this is essentially when Celsius got the deal with PepsiCo, and so that made a huge difference. And as you can see, it just took off during this period. Now it's pulling back a little bit and readjusting, and I don't think it's going to be able to keep this kind of angle, but one of the things about Celsius, I think, is it's still buyable. Let's just check. I want to check that to make sure that I'm right on that, to see if it is. Let's look at Celsius here. CELH, of course, is the symbol for it, and let's look at it. Yeah, Celsius. This is, I believe, still buyable. I definitely think this is still buyable here. And this one I have been acquiring myself. It's Celsius Beverage, and I definitely think it is buyable. Now you can see I bought a position basically at 103. It's at 102, so I'm kind of even money right now. I'm still, we're still kind of, sitting here in this kind of flag formation. Now, is this a high tide flag? No, it isn't. But we had blowout earnings, if you'll notice, and that has propelled it higher. So let's go to the weekly chart to take a look at Celsius, just kind of see. Yeah, they just reported earnings. Their sales were up 137% quarter over quarter. their profits were up over 1,000%. So that's amazing when you think about it. The return on equity, very low. It's only 2%. Very high PE ratio. This is really a marketing company, 428. But it's starting to become positive, and it seems like we're getting some strong accumulation in there from some of the funds. So who knows what's going to happen. I'm looking to possibly put in a a position in this one, because I do think that it potentially has the potential of going a little bit higher. All right. Let's go to Charles first. Thank you. Without writing puts, how do you choose your strike price so that you have to have it go unexercised? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do that. The best way to do that, of course, Charles, is to move it out a little bit out of the money, and the part of the way that you do that is with the volatility. I'm going to probably make a video on this, but you need to take a look at the volatility and then move outside in about 1 standard deviation of the volatility. So I will definitely try to put something together on that for you. All right. I mentioned RLTR on Monday. Let's look at RLTR. RLTR. And see what's happening there. And no, RLTR. RLTR. I can't, for some reason, it doesn't come up. I'm sorry. I don't know why that doesn't. Oh, RTLR. I'm sorry. RTLR. And there we go. Oh, okay, so this is the midstream company. Not bad. Let's pull on over here to the to the chart. On the fundamentals, it was up 8% in terms of their sales. Profits were up 43%. That's very significant. We have a decreasing number of funds. So that's a little bit concerning to me. Return on equity 9%. So this is pretty, and a PE of 15. Not bad, but again, this is there are better options out there, I think, than this one. It doesn't look terrifically strong to me. It just doesn't look terribly strong here, but it did, for some reason, it moved up strongly today. I don't know why. Above the 50-day moving average. So interesting, and it does look like the relative strength is moving higher. So I can't really explain that offhand because it's been in this downward trend. It did reverse, and now it is moving higher, and it's moving above that first 200 and then the 50-day line. So I wouldn't be probably too quick to get in this one, even though it is in the oil and gas transport, which I do like. Now, one of the ones that I have been buying, I took profits and then I did rebuy this one, is LNG, and that's Cheniere, and that one has been doing fairly well. Let's take a look at that one real quickly. Cheniere, that was up pretty significantly today, up about 2.6%. Can you still buy this one? Well, I think we're a little bit, we're just really at the very end of where you can buy this. But going back to the daily chart, let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. So we're still in the buy range on Cheniere. This is, if you're interested in the pipeline area, though this is not strictly a pipeline. This is a company that takes natural gas from a pipeline and compresses it and freezes it and makes it into LNG, and of course that's what they're shipping out of Sabine Pass, Louisiana, and Corpus Christi, Texas, primarily to Europe, not to Germany, but Poland has a terminal, and I do think there's going to be a very good future for this. This is coming online, and I think this is going to be a very, very significant company with the kind of investment that it has. They are, a lot of this company is funded by debt, but I do think that this one is likely to be very, very strong. So I started buying this one. As you can see, we kind of went into it there, and then we had a third buy there. So this is one I think you want to keep an eye on, and it's Cheniere, symbol LNG. LNG. Now there's another one called FLNG, which seems to also be providing a lot of strength. As it seems to be providing a lot of strength as well. And that one, is called FLNG. And let's see, go back to the banners here. Yep, there we go. All right, well, I don't know why. Okay, there we go. So, first, I'm just not working today. Okay, FLNG. This is another one that you might want to look at as well. This is interesting. This isn't like Cheniere in that this one actually is a fleet of LNG carriers, and this one $35 up after hours. I definitely think this is going to be a good one. Relative strength 98. There is a lack of transport for LNG right now in the world, and as we come into winter, I think you're going to see a lot of demand for LNG and natural gas in Europe. So this is another one that you could probably put on your radar screen. This is actionable right now, FLNG. So definitely something I think that you can look at. There's going to be an extreme shortage of LNG. All right, and then of course DQ. This is the Chinese solar company, and I have not been in this one, but it has been doing great. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. This has been a top area, energy solar, and DQ has been one of the big ones. I'm currently not in it. It was in a little bit of a downward trend. It got support at the 50-day line. A lot of people are buying this one, 98 relative strength, so it's strong. I mean, it's definitely actionable. I'm personally not in it, just because I think long term, especially the Chinese stocks, I've been kind of staying away from them just because of the political issues and a lot of things like that. So that's kind of where I've been. Can you look at NVTA? I don't know this stock, but let's take a look at it. NVTA, and just take a look at it really quickly to see. It provides genetic diagnostic testing for hereditary disorders and targeted panels. So this is one of the biotech companies. Interestingly enough, biotech companies are very, very hard to trade because a lot of them don't have revenue, and that makes it difficult. Let's take the weekly chart. Let's take a look. They do. This one does have revenue, though. And it is still losing money, but it has sales, so that's interesting. So the sales, they definitely have sales, but they're still losing money. They have negative cash flow. I don't really like that, even in a biotech company. They do have a fairly large number of funds in it, but it is dropping. Now, it went up for some reason. There may be some kind of acquisition going on here. I can't really tell what the situation is on this particular one, but it looks like it may be getting acquired. I cannot tell. But the trend of this stock in Vita Corporation, NVTA, is downward trend, and then today it reversed higher, and who knows why that is the case. I'm going to look at the 30-minute chart and see why. Yeah, something happened. There was some kind of news that came out. Basically, this going from 2 to 9 and then back down. So this was probably a short squeeze. That's what it's looking to me like. So I would probably stay away from this one for right now. It does look like a short squeeze. It looks like there were some shorts on it that had to be taken care of. So that's kind of what it looks like to me. All right. Well, let's see. We have time for about 2 more, and then we have to go. What? What about live? Well, I'm live right now. Oh, what's the deal with Block? Do you think it's coming up? I don't know. That's interesting. Netflix. All right, let's take a look at Netflix, because that one has been very much on everybody's mind. Now, I did have a short on this one. I did close it, made a little bit of money, but that was really before it started to bottom, and I definitely think it may be bottoming here, but it's still pretty. I just think that there's so many issues regarding this one. It's basically down here. It's below the 200-day line. I just, maybe this will get some strength and move higher, but I think right now, you just really have to be really really careful with Netflix because it's lost so much of its value. Let's take a look at the weekly chart and show you kind of what I mean here. It was basically all the way up here, over $600, and that wasn't that long ago. That was basically at the beginning of the year. It's currently trading at about 242, which means that it's lost essentially about 66% of its value. So not very, very good. I just think that it's got to stabilize, and I just wouldn't be in it right now. Just not looking very good. Their sales are going up. This is totally a sales-driven company. As you can see, what happened really is in March, their subscriber base started to mature and drop, and that's really the issue. This company is really dependent on every quarter having lots and lots of sales, and it looks as if Disney and some of the other competitors are starting to come in and make it very difficult for Netflix. So I think that it may come back to where it is, but I don't think it's ever going to be back in the $600 range like it was before. All right, last question. What do you think about Rivian earnings? Well, I don't think Rivian's earning anything. That's the thing, and I don't think they can produce any cars either. So I probably would not be in Rivian. Okay, what's the deal with Block? Yeah, I don't know. It's many of these tech companies are they're just not going to be. It's right now. It's still just not the time to be in tech. It doesn't make as much sense. Let's look at see where the leaders are. Where in the market you need to be. And one of the areas, it would be nice if tech was working like it was before, but it just isn't. And we've got to kind of look, we've kind of got to look at what areas of the market are working the best. And unfortunately, I think a lot of these are the areas that have been working really since the beginning of the year, and it's very, very resource driven. So most of the areas that are working the best in terms of rank, let's take a look at rank here. The number one ranked area is energy solar. So that's part of the reason why DQ absolutely is doing well. And so that's a good thing. Oil and gas royalty trust, energy alternatives, medical, telecom, some retail though, super mini markets, and some medical. But really, the areas that are leading are still largely in the oil and the gas area. So that's one of the reasons why we're seeing some uptrends in some of those. So let's also take a look. I want to look at stocks. Let's just take a look at Exxon, XON. Let's take a look at that. Okay, come on. Oh boy, it's just slow today. My feed is kind of slow, I think. Yeah, there we go. XON. There we go. XOM, I'm sorry. XOM. ExxonMobil. And then I also want to look at Netflix. NFL. And what I'm doing is I'm comparing these against each other. Hopefully that did not work. Let's relaunch those charts. All right. So and what I'm trying to show here, hopefully, is why you still have to be extremely careful in the former FANG stocks. You just have to be careful there. Well, you have to be also careful with these charts. They don't seem to be working there. Okay, well, I'm afraid I can't bring them up. I'm having some charting software issues right now, so that's not looking good. So I will be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I hope everyone will tune in on that. That would be great. Also, during the day, I try to put out some tweets and stuff that I'm doing. The small portfolio. If you're not already a member of the Action Trade Alerts, super duper easy to do. One thing please, 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 this helps us get out to a lot more people, and that is, please smash that like button. Really, really appreciate it when you like it, because it really helps us get out there to all the people out there. So until tomorrow at 5 o'clock, happy trading, everybody. Sorry for the technical issues. I'm hopefully going to have a little bit better show tomorrow, because I'm going to have a little bit better camera angle on some of the on the screens. So that's which I think we need. So until tomorrow, please like this and please subscribe. Thank you so very, very much. Happy trading.